Welcome to Don't Pack, Just Move. Not the book, but the show. You know what it is. You already have the book. I'm your host, R. Michael Tarpley, author, motivational speaker, business coach, and entrepreneur. And you know what it is. I'm here to give you some nuggets to help you think bigger, be stronger, and go further. This is going to be good. Today we're going to talk about the church. And we're going to do a series on the church. Typically, we talk about business. We talk about motivating you to the next level. But today, we're going to talk about the church. And I'm going to do a little series on that. And I think it's going to be good. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back. Many of you have asked about this. You want to hear me talk about the church? I believe I'm qualified, so we're going to talk about it anyhow. All right, so check it out. Where do we start? The purpose of the church, right? The purpose of the church is to, and I'm going to dumb it down, I'm going to break it down to its last compound so that you understand what we're talking about. The church is to help, is to edify, and to help the community in which it's in, the geographical area in which it's been assigned to. Simple. Listen, you can't build wells in Africa if you can't build a well in your town in Detroit or your town in, and I'm not talking about a physical well, of course, come on, but I'm talking about, if you're not doing things to revive or refresh or bring something to the community that's going to impact them in such a way that they don't die. The church at one point was the hub for progression in a community. All right, it was the pinnacle. In some cases, in the Middle Ages, the church steeple was the tallest structure in a community. You couldn't have a structure taller than the steeple. And now we see, you go to any downtown, any city in America, and you'll find the biggest buildings are typically the financial district. It's the Bank of America. It's the Wells Fargo building. It's the J.P. Morgan Chase building or something like that. These are the tallest buildings. And it tells you a whole lot about where we are as a society. But let me digress and back to the church. The church led us in the out of slavery with the Underground Railroad. And a lot of them folks, black and white, were Christians. And the church house was used, and the Christians' homes were used, and to get us out, they called Harriet Tubman the Black Moses, again referring to a religious figure, a religious pastor who helped take the children of Israel from bondage in Egypt, from slavery out of Egypt into the Promised Land. And so that's not by happenstance. Through the civil rights era and the Jim Crowism and so forth and so on, the church has always been a figure in the fight for struggle for equality and justice. And so today the church has, in some cases, again, I'm not talking about all churches. Your church may be perfect. You may be the pastor of a good church. You may have the right mind, the right frame of mind to lead people from bondage into the Promised Land. So I'm not talking about you. So please, no comments on I'm bashing the church. I'm not bashing the church. I have a lot of respect for the church. That being said, there is good and there is bad and there is ugly in the church. Prosperity. I'm a firm believer in In this life, you have to have money. I'm not saying be a lover of money and understanding the difference. If you're biblically astute, you understand the difference that it's the love of money that is the root of all evil, not money itself. In this life, you got to have money. All right, got to have money. Don't go to the landlord talking about I'm gonna pay you in prayers. Don't go to the to the bank that you bought the car from and say, I'm gonna pay you in fasting. They're gonna back that tow truck up while you're sleeping and take that car, and the marshals are gonna come and throw you out the house while you're in the closet. In this life, you're going to have it, right? And he's given us everything that pertains to life and godliness, right? So there's a practical and there's a spiritual aspect to everything in this life. So I think in the church we have to understand that, and we can't get caught up in prosperity gospel that says I'm going to give you something. You need to give me something physically, or you need to give God something physically, and God's going to give you something spiritually. In other words, give me money, I'm gonna give you a prayer. That's physical, trading physical for spiritual, and that's not sound. Okay? All right. I can go deeper on that, and we will throughout the series, but I'm not going to touch all of that right now. I'm just going to deal with the church on the purpose. And so that purpose is to serve the people, serve the community in which it's being geographically assigned to. And when you serve in that community, you're serving it with it's the spiritual aspect of it. Absolutely. Let's talk about it. I don't mind. We can talk through tithes and offerings. We can talk through spiritual warfare. We can talk through first fruits and so forth and so on. I'm good with that. We can talk through all of that. I don't have an issue to some degree with a lot of that preaching or teaching. And we'll get to some of that in a couple of these series. But we also have to teach people on how to budget their money. It's practical. How to potentially get our credit scores up. How to save our money, how to invest our money, how to start a business without getting in trouble with the IRS. 65% of businesses fail in the first 2 years. How do we not become that statistic? How do we make sure we're paying our taxes in a business if we're going to go down that path? How do we build generational wealth? Those things are important. How do we get out of debt and stay out of debt? All of these things are important. How do we take care of our bodies, our health? How do we? What's the proper exercises? What's the proper dietary? I know it's not a silver spoon or a one size fit all thing, but these are the things that we should be teaching in the church. Family dynamics. Marriage dynamics. I know in some places, again, I know that's being taught in some areas and some churches, but all of these aspects holistically, I need to know about all these things, because once I have my mind right, now the mind has to control the body. So now the spirit or the inward man has to now control the outward man. And I need to have some works that indicate that this has been done, that I have been renewed in my mind. What are the actions that says I am different? And so the church, I think, is obligated to make sure that we are instructing and helping people get to a certain point. I'm not saying you have to take them all the way to. I'm not saying you have to be a college course. I'm saying that you have to give them some foundational things on how to have multiple streams of income. Listen, you can't ask a person, and this is for the church leaders, you can't ask a person for multiple offerings if you're not teaching them how to get multiple streams of income. You can't get blood from a turnip. I have a fixed check coming in every 2 weeks or every month, however it's set up. and I have this to pay, this, and then I'm paying my tithes. I'm even giving a pseudo offering, and then there's a building fund, and then there's a pastor anniversary fund, and then there's a pastor birthday fund, and then there's the first lady birthday, and then there's the this, and then there's the that, and then there's the this. Listen, you can't get blood from a turnip. I don't have no problem with giving. I don't have no problem with people giving. But you have to teach the people how to get more to give more. I'm going to say that again. Teach the people how to get more to give more. It's a give and take. It's a give and take. Makes sense. I'm sure it makes sense to everybody listening. And again, don't get your feathers ruffled. If it's getting ruffled, it's just because you don't want to change. You don't want to do what needs to be done. You want the easy route. The easy route is to say, I can raise money simply by asking you to donate to my what do they call that? The Cash App. Donate to my Cash App, and that's how I can raise money pretty easy. Listen, the reason why some people can't teach you these things, now I'm talking to the people. The reason why some people can't teach you these things is because they don't want to expose how they're coming about getting the money. I don't have an issue. Listen, I don't have an issue with the pastor having a Rolls Royce. I don't have an issue with the pastor having a private jet. Heck, I want a Rolls Royce. I want a private jet. You want a Rolls. You want a private jet. Maybe not a Rolls or private jet, but you want something that is extreme or lavish in this life, whatever that may be, whatever your Rolls or private jet is. Here's what I have an issue with, though. I have an issue when you're the only one in the church who has it. That means you have not instructed, you have not taught, you have not allowed yourself to share principles on how you got that. Mainly those who don't teach that. In some churches, I know they do because I've been there. I know some pastors, I know some bishops, I know people who actually do this and teach on these areas of life holistically to make people's lives better. And the reason why they do that and can do that is because they do it themselves. They're leading by example. They have a business. They have books. They write plays. They do different things, that services and products and different things that they do outside of the church. I got to talk a little bit about that in another series as well. But they do that. And then some don't and can't teach, even though they got the same thing. They got the roles, and I'm just using those things as examples. They got the roles, they got the jets, but they don't teach the people how to become more productive, how to ease their financial burdens. They don't teach them how to do that because at the end of the day, they don't have any meat to give you on it because all they've ever done was raise an offering. And they can't teach you how to just raise an offering. All right, look, it's getting hot already. I'm 13 minutes in. I'm gonna call this a day on this particular episode, but you want to stay tuned because I'm going to give you some more on this. Again, not bashing the church. I just want to talk about the purpose of the church and how we are to move forward as people of God. All right? Again, hit me below. And as an author, as a business coach, motivational speaker, and entrepreneur, I have a wealth of understanding and experiences. I didn't get this gray from nothing. So if you need me for an event or to help you with your business, hit me up. We can talk about it. This is a business. I want you to understand I'm in business. This isn't donation related. This is a business. So let's talk about it. I can help you, though, and get you to where you're looking to go. In the meantime, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, comment below, share, tell your friends, and, let's do some more of this. Whatever other buttons are below there, I'm not a big social media guy, but hey, hit it. Let's talk about it. And until then, you know what it is. Get it? You got it? I'm gone. Be good.